Good morning and welcome to For the District. It's the podcast for Jackson-Madison County Schools. I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for JMCSS, and this morning we are spotlighting Jackson Academic STEAM Academy, and to do that, I've invited some special guests. Dr. Michael Morris is the very proud principal of JASA, and a little later, you'll hear from Glen Gaugh and his son Jesse. They're a JASA family, but you may recognize the name Gaugh because Mr. Gaugh is also a JMCSS school board member. So first of all, Principal Morris, Dr. Principal Morris, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Congratulations are, I'm good. Congratulations are in order.
Thank you, sir.
You recently earned your doctorate.
I did.
Let's just talk about that for a minute. That's no small task.
No, it was not a small task. It took some years. But the good thing about it is it kind of is a culmination of education and what education provides. And so to have an opportunity to work on getting a doctorate degree, and the next big thing about it is in working on an EDD like I did,
right.
It's an extension of now studying education, what education gives, what education will do, how to train administrators. So the doctor thing has been a blessing for me, but it's made me look at education that much further.
Yeah, and I think it's cool because now you can impart that wisdom into your peers and also teachers, and so I think that's really cool.
Well, learning never stops. You know.
Wait, say that again.
Well, learning never stops. It never stops. I mean, it continues to evolve.
Yeah.
It continues to go forward. And I'm hoping kids say, especially those who've seen me through the years, say, okay, yeah, he's an older guy, but he still pursued an educational goal. So education and doing that was just, education itself was my motivation to do a doctoral program.
Now, Dr. Morris, you are the principal at Jackson Academic STEAM Academy, and you're doing a great job, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
Promoting that school and those programs. We'll talk about that in a minute. But first, a lot of folks will hear this and go, oh, I remember Mr. Morris from. Of course, this is heard all over West Tennessee, so there are some folks who may remember you from back in the day in your first year. Was it Union City you
Union
started?
City.
Yeah. Talk about cutting your teeth in education.
Cutting my teeth in education. It's kind of funny that you would ask that because I was just telling someone the other day that when I first started, 31 years ago, one of the big things was writing your philosophy of education. My philosophy was 3 pages. As time has gone along, it's actually changed. At the halfway point, it was more of all students can learn, just at different times.
Yeah.
But now I realize the whole thing in education is just making a good person, making a good citizen, somebody that becomes a good husband, a good wife, good career, with their children. That's the most important thing now for me in education and what education has done for me.
We're visiting with Dr. Michael Morris. He is the principal of Jackson Academic STEAM Academy. It is our virtual or homeschool platform. Dr. Morris, making good people. How are you able to do that, number one, at JASA, and then how does that look different than some of your previous stops? Because, of course, a few years ago, you were my daughter's principal at the Academic Academy and Northeast Middle School. So making good people, what does that look like at a virtual school like Jackson Academic STEAM Academy?
I'm elated to have this opportunity.
Okay.
I feel like I've seen all sectors of education. When I see new programs come out, I say to myself, okay, this one is improving on this. This one's improving on this. But here lately, probably in the last 15 to 20 years, technology has really grabbed all of it. Where a lot of my studies as a student was pretty much I was in the class, the teacher was teaching me, I had the textbook, here I go. Now, yes, there are books that are still available, but there's also the World Wide Web.
Right.
Now kids, when I was coming out, we were competing with Kentucky and Alabama and all that. Now kids are competing with somebody in Asia or somebody in Japan. I mean, you're on that even slate. So having an opportunity to be at JASA and see how it extends learning, how it's an extension of how kids learn, has been the biggest privilege that I've had there. To watch educators be able to remotely teach. I make it my business to actually go into the classrooms a lot of times and just sit with the teacher and watch it and sit in amazement as to how you multitask between students and just to look at how comfortable the students are. It's not like they're sitting there like, how do I do this? Even if they don't know it, they figure it out.
Yeah.
When I'm confused now, I go to my youngest son and say,
Help me.
Help me. How do you do this? And there's no fear. You know, at my age and for some others, there's that fear, I think, of the technology. But as long as you are associated with students who are now born into technology,
Right.
you kind of let go of the fear because you can kind of talk to them and they can tell you how things should be out there in tech world. So JASA has been the best thing that could possibly happen with me at education at this point.
We're visiting with Dr. Michael Morris. He's principal at Jackson Academic STEAM Academy. And for folks who may not be familiar with JASA, it is the virtual or homeschool platform for the Jackson-Madison County school system. And I think what you've been really good at doing, opening of the school year, is using social media to show folks what a JASA student looks like. So a student may learn at home during the day, but that same student might be a member of the band at Northside High School, or may participate in ag science at Liberty Tech, in which we'll see here in a moment with the Gaugh. So again, kind of because will be a new conversation for some folks, talk about the JASA platform, the JASA setup. You have teachers who are together at the school building, Jackson Academic STEAM Academy, but the majority of the day, they're connecting with students virtually.
Well, with JASA, what we do is, you just mentioned it, our teachers are there with us in our facility there on Emporium Drive. Just want to make sure everybody knows exactly where it is.
If you really want to date yourself, the old Circuit City building.
The old Circuit City building. It's amazing that so many people still remember it as the Circuit City building, and that building has been not Circuit City for years.
It was Union.
It was Union, so I mean, it's not Circuit City anymore.
Right.
It's JASA.
Right.
But JASA's concept is we have 3 what we call synchronous days, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, where students are actually interacting with the teacher. On Wednesdays and Fridays, to allow the staff and us to have professional development activities, the kids are asynchronous for 2 days. And it also gives an opportunity for teachers to be able to work one-on-one via platform, or them actually coming to the school on those things that they're having difficulty with.
So to make that clear for folks who may be listening, there are 2 or 3 days a week where they are on a strict schedule.
Oh, yes. Yes. Actually, a strict schedule Monday through Friday.
Okay.
It's just the way we actually set it up.
Okay. And then there are other days where the schedule doesn't look so traditional.
It does not look so traditional. That is correct.
Yeah. We're visiting with Dr. Michael Morris, principal of Jackson Academic STEAM Academy. I tell you what, Dr. Morris, what we're going to do is we're going to take a brief time out, and then we'll come back. We're going to visit with Glen Gaugh. Yes, he's a school board member, but he's a parent in the Jackson-Madison County school system. He has a son at JASA, and so this will allow folks to kind of hear and see what does it look like to be a student or a family at Jackson Academic STEAM Academy, but also those extracurricular benefits.
Yes.
Because, again, back in the day, you really just had sports and fine arts, right?
That's about it.
There's so much more now in the Jackson-Madison County school system, and students are doing more in JMCSS. Don't go anywhere. When we get back, we'll be visiting with Glen Gaugh and his son, Jesse Gaugh. Jesse's a student at Jackson Academic STEAM Academy. You've been hearing from the principal of JASA, Dr. Michael Morris. Don't go anywhere. We've got more for the district after this timeout. Are you a homeschool family looking for a high-quality education for your child? Jackson Academic STEAM Academy is a tuition-free K-12 cyber school platform that allows students to learn in the comfort of their homes while receiving all the extracurricular benefits and academic support students in traditional schools receive. JASA's academic programs concentrate on science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. High school students at Jackson Academic STEAM Academy have access to 16 hours of dual enrollment credit through Union University. It's an innovative setup that's providing expanded options for students. JASA is just one of many exciting tuition-free learning platforms offered by Jackson-Madison County Schools. There's never been a better time to choose JMCSS. Visit jmcss.org/JASA for more information. That's jmcss.org/JASA. Choose us. Tuition-free. Jackson-Madison County Schools. Welcome back to For the District. It's the podcast for Jackson Madison County Schools. I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for JMCSS. This morning we are spotlighting Jackson Academic STEAM Academy. It is the virtual school platform for Jackson Madison County Schools. Right now, we're making history on the podcast, actually. We're 92 episodes in, and we've got our first cowboy hat on the studio. So if you're listening on the radio, you'll just have to go to YouTube to see the video. But school board member Glen Gaugh joins us. And first of all, Mr. Gaugh, thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
So Glen Gaugh, JCM class of 98. In case you missed the first part of this conversation with Dr. Michael Morris, he's JCM class of 1990. So I'm a Hawk, but shout out to the JCM Cougars.
Go Cougars.
So, Mr. Gaugh, you are here with your son, Jesse, and you guys are a Jackson Academic STEAM Academy family.
Proudly.
So, we have a lot, you know this, you're a school board member. We have
Right.
a lot of options within the Jackson-Madison County school system. Madison Academic, we just found out a few weeks ago, ranked number one in West Tennessee among public high schools. Of course, everyone knows about the awesome agri-science program at Liberty.
Yes.
Southside's rolling with automotive, ASC certifications. They got a nursing program out there. Southside's phenomenal. JCM has the only high school dance program. Just a lot of unique programs across the board. For a moment, what makes JASA so special?
JASA is special because, to relate to our own journey,
Okay.
we did homeschool for several years, starting with my oldest son, Elisha, who also went to Jackson Academic STEAM Academy. Jesse's story started with COVID. Spent a spring not knowing what to do when he was an East Elementary student, and we brought him home to homeschool after that. Incidentally, JASA had its roots in that time period where we were building an airplane in flight, trying to reconceptualize educating students under those conditions. And thankfully, under Dr. King's vision, continued because there's more than one way to educate a child, and every child's different, every student's different. As we talk about interest as well as learning styles, every student is different, unique in their interest and in the way they learn.
Yes, sir.
So when we decided to come back to the system, with JASA in place, that was the route we chose, and it's blossomed from there. You'll find out as you talk to my son. Okay. So again, we're proud to be a part of the JMCSS family at JASA.
Let's talk to your son.
Let's
Now, fun fact, I'm not sure what episode number it is, but you can go back and look at Spotify, Radio 731. I actually, Jesse, interviewed your brother Elisha along with your grandmother, Debbie Gaugh, another board member. And so that was quite an interesting podcast, one of the better ones, I think. Fun fact, Jesse, you play guitar.
Yes.
So you can go on record right now and let everyone know, Jesse, if you want to, you're a better guitar player than Elisha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, Jesse, what I think is cool about your dad, when he came in as a board member, working with his peers, I think, Mr. Gaugh, you said you look forward to the day of education a la carte. And I think we're getting closer to that. And I think Jesse's story helps us tell that. Jesse, you're a student at Jackson Academic STEAM Academy, but as Dr. Morris has shown us on social media over the last several weeks, we've got JASA students in the band at Northside. We've got JASA students taking ag science at Liberty. For a moment, talk about what it's like to be a student at Jackson Academic STEAM Academy.
Well, I have comfort at home because I was never really comfortable being in a classroom for more than half of a day. And, of course, I get really bored during that.
Yeah.
So I get to stay at home, and I get to actually interact with teachers, whereas some homeschooled kids don't have an actual teacher. They have their parents,
Right.
which don't have all of the materials needed for schooling. And so with the computers, you have the web and all of that if
Right.
you need extra help. And a lot of teachers let you use that.
Yeah.
And they just have more experience.
Right. And so Jesse brings up a good point, Mr. Gaugh. Several years ago, kids were younger. My wife she is into the Crunchy Mom groups and some of the homeschool groups. And
Right.
talking to that group for a minute, and Jesse just brought out Jackson Academic STEAM Academy has the comforts of homeschool, but it has the supports of the public school system. Can you talk about how that is a positive for the homeschool families or folks that desire that homeschool platform?
Sure, and I think this will go back to that a la carte concept.
Okay.
Not only is every student unique, but every family is unique. Every situation is unique, and families make their choices about education based on a variety of variables. And so for us, we wanted and needed the support when we came back to JMCSS and enrolled in JASA, the kind of support that Jesse was talking about. And as good of a teacher as I may think I am, if I'm doing that while working, while attending to the other demands, maybe that takes away from my ability to be an educator. Some families don't have that barrier. We did. So to be able to be in an environment that's comfortable, that promotes Jesse being able to do what he needs to do between classes or work on his work in his own time, have the resources, whether it's us at home or his teachers, just made the right fit for us. And so the thing about adding the ag science from Liberty is we did need an interactional component, which JASA provides in many ways, club days and competitive teams. But I graduated JCM. I was not only in the band, I was an ag kid too.
Okay.
They would have known me with the hat and the boots back then,
All right.
clomping across, campus in 10 minutes or less. But that was a huge part of my education, more so maybe in a lot of ways than what happened in the classroom. Liberty FFA took the charter of the old Jackson Central Mary, and so I'm actually an alumni of Liberty's FFA chapter, so he gets to take part in that in the class. And I've come up as a board member with this concept of we need to make the extracurricular curricular. It shouldn't just be an add-on to the classroom, but how can we change the classroom experience to make that relevant to what a student wants to do or the direction they're headed in life? And that's what being able to pick and choose. And so there are homeschool families that want to keep their homeschool set up. JASA can contribute to that, along with athletics, fine arts, clubs, and even now classes. I think maybe the distinction between joining a band or a football team is he's actually enrolled in classes at two different high schools in our district. And so it's almost like a dual enrollment in a college. And that just opens so many additional doors.
You're listening to For the District. It's the podcast for Jackson Madison County Schools. We're visiting with board member Glen Gaugh. He's also a parent in the school district, and his son, Jesse. Jesse's a student at Jackson Academic STEAM Academy. It is our virtual school or homeschool platform in the Jackson Madison County school system. Making the extracurricular curricular. I think Green Power is one of those programs. Folks that are hearing about the term Green Power for the first time this morning, it's essentially STEM tied into race car driving.
Right.
So you think about your science, your technology, your engineering, your mathematics, and the students take those components like Jesse's done since 8th grade. Is that right?
Yes.
So for a moment, let's talk about the Green Power. What was participating in Green Power like for you, Jesse?
It was really good because I've always worked on vehicles with my dad or my grandparents, and I've always loved driving. And Green Power is a good way for me to be able to do more of that, and it also helps teach other kids how to work on some vehicles, and it also lets people have a chance to travel around because we have races at Talladega, Alabama, and Huntsville, and it's really fun, and it's probably the best decision I've made because I love it.
Yeah. And Mr. Gaugh, I'll tell you, what I enjoyed seeing was you helping out at the race because, we see you during, monthly at school board meetings in very formal settings, helping with policy. But I think what has made all the difference is when you have board members who actually have skin in the game and are involved, boots on the cowboy boots on the ground, so to speak. What was it like for you?
Well, I love kids. My work in mental health has been mostly with kids, and of course, I have sons, and it's been the greatest honor of my life. My biggest motivation is to pull Jesse out of his shell.
Okay.
So, bumping around with him,
Yeah.
learning the kids' names, helping them lift the cars up and put it on the racks when it's time to change the tires or insert the batteries. It's really fun. So, first of all, it's a great experience for Jesse. As he said, takes advantage of his natural talents. He is good with his hands and very smart too. But to see him teach other students who haven't had as much exposure, they're all somewhat new with the concept of building an electric car, but he's been around tools and watching him help. For example, he helped another team showed up, JMCSS team, that needed additional help on day one, and Jesse and his peers swung in and helped them get their car ready. And so they're competing, but they're cooperating and teaching one another. And so it's fun, first of all, but it's always an honor to be there. And obviously the staff from district leads through the teachers that sponsor those teams are awesome people to do what they do.
Big shout out to Dr. Teresa McSwinney, overseeing our Department of Innovation and the Melissa STEM Innovation Center. Fun fact, and you're probably hearing this for the first time, the Green Power Initiative will expand this year to a few more high schools and maybe even the elementary school level. You got to stick around to hear more about
the goblins.
That. There you go.
That's what they call them.
Yeah, the Green Power Goblins. I'll tell you what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick time out. We're going to get Dr. Michael Morris back up here, and we'll just end with one big JASA conversation. This is For the District, the podcast for Jackson-Madison County Schools. You've been hearing Glen Gaugh, a school board member and a parent of a JASA student, and Jesse Gaugh, a JASA student. And we're going to invite Principal Michael Morris back up after this brief timeout. You're listening to For the District. It's the podcast for Jackson-Madison County Schools on JJ 97.7 FM. Are you a homeschool family looking for a high-quality education for your child? Jackson Academic STEAM Academy is a tuition-free K-12 cyber school platform that allows students to learn in the comfort of their homes while receiving all the extracurricular benefits and academic support students in traditional schools receive. JASA's academic programs concentrate on science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. High school students at Jackson Academic STEAM Academy have access to 16 hours of dual enrollment credit through Union University. It's an innovative setup that's providing expanded options for students. JASA is just one of many exciting tuition-free learning platforms offered by Jackson-Madison County Schools. There's never been a better time to choose JMCSS. Visit jmcss.org/JASA for more information. That's jmcss.org/JASA. Choose us, tuition-free, Jackson-Madison County Schools. Hello and welcome back to For the District. It's the podcast for Jackson-Madison County Schools. I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for JMCSS, and this morning we're visiting with Dr. Michael Morris. He's principal of Jackson Academic STEAM Academy. His student, Jesse Gaugh, and Jesse's father, Glen Gaugh, who, by the way, fun fact, is a school board member in a, can I call you a cowboy?
Yes, absolutely.
We're setting records here. Episode 92, the first time you saw a cowboy hat on camera on the podcast. Hey, Dr. Morris, thinking about something that board member Gaugh said, taking the extracurricular and making it curricular. As the new principal here at JASA, tell us some of those things you've been thinking about as far as some improvements or some changes you like to make. I think you were talking about some robotics, some soccer. What is this you're talking about?
Well, one of the things we're talking about doing, and you can actually go and look at it on YouTube because there's already out there some schools and so forth doing it. It's called drone soccer.
Okay.
And with drone soccer, you're basically taking the concept of drone and teaching what drones do, but at the same time, when you say make the extracurricular curricular, there are things like soccer and athletics and stuff that are outside of the realm of school that now you can bring into the school. So if there are students out there who don't necessarily get to have opportunity to participate on a school team for any other athletics or whatever the case may be, they can still become athletes within their own setting. So that's something that we're really looking at and see if we can bring that to JASA to make it happen.
Thank you for that, Dr. Morris. Mr. Gaugh, you were saying the idea about this convergence, the fact that Liberty has a top-notch facility in the area of ag science, and how now there's this partnership with JASA, and students like Jesse can now take these curricular and extracurricular courses. Can you kind of put that in your own words?
Absolutely. The JMCSS, and this language is being used, but we're a portfolio district. We have offerings, and just like you would spread out a portfolio of holdings, assets, we have that, as you said, with Liberty being a campus that stands to be a career and technical institute for West Tennessee in our district. JASA, which is virtual learning, but also has the opportunity. They're not just going to fly those drones; they've got to program those drones.
Got to program. That is correct.
And then compete. So the curricular lends into the extracurricular. By the way, Melissa's gym is now and will be a top-notch drone soccer playing field. And so we have that in the district. We'll have tournaments in the district that draw from outside the district. But the goal, from my standpoint, district-wide, is to continue to see us have unique offerings at various, JCM and Northside and Southside, or longstanding community schools, athletics, a lot of heritage. Families can choose that. Families can choose JASA, which is an alternative outside of the traditional, and that's a result of the forward thinking within the district to create many options.
Yeah. Jesse, I was interviewing your grandmother several episodes ago. Great conversation. And I know Debbie's into beekeeping and some other ag and farm stuff. But you were talking about hydroponics, which is something I don't know that you guys have on the farm, but is at Liberty. Tell us about hydroponics and how that's been cool to be around that agri-science component.
Well, I don't know much about it because farms I've worked on, they've never had that. But it is cool to work with ag stuff that involves the aquatic creatures. And it just gives them, since not all farms have it, it gives kids an opportunity to do something different that may have worked on farms before. And it's really cool to see how the system runs and all that.
Dr. Morris, I want to give a shout out to Superintendent Dr. Marlon King for several reasons, but I think the big reason, and I think you can speak to this, there is a partnership going on, and it's cultivated because our principals meet weekly together.
Yes, together.
I think it's safe to say that back in the day, even during my time in the classroom, Southside was in a silo, and that's the way we were okay with that. And you had these pockets of success in different schools, but the superintendent has very much brought all the principals together, and there is a partnership that is fostered from the district level, and it flows down. Let me give you an example. I'm at a week ago, I was at the Southside Northside football game. It was the hot ticket. And so I see a gentleman, because I know names and faces I know. I matched the teacher faces with the schools, and I pretty much got it memorized. And I saw a man, Dustin Johnson, who is a JASA teacher on the sideline at this JCM football game. And I was like, I was just trying to make the math. Well, the JASA ag science teacher who is teaching kids how to use drones was showing a JCM student how to fly a drone in order to record the JCM football game. And so that's just one small example of this partnership that you see that now we embrace district-wide because the superintendent started at the leadership level. Can you speak to that?
It has to be someone at the top that has a vision.
Okay.
That's for whatever you do. It does not matter. Someone has to. I've had the opportunity to work for 12 superintendents, and I've seen different things in all of them. But one of the things I can say about Dr. King and his ability to work with the board, I mean, it's almost like seamlessness with them working together. And he's been able to foster that with the board and then foster that with us. So we all are like this one big unit working for the same cause. And that's making sure kids have opportunities and kids are better. So having us where we can talk every week as principals, we actually learn from each other on things that, okay, hey, you may be doing this at this school, I'm doing it here, but working together, how can we foster to make it better overall for both schools or for the district? So I must commend the entire district from Dr. King, as well as being the leader, as well as the board. They're helping us and again, giving us opportunities to become good leaders.
Mr. Gaugh, before we get out of here, what's it like being a school board member in the Jackson-Madison County School System?
It's everything I dreamed it would be and more.
Okay.
There's great things in our district. That's what this podcast, that's what most of our time is spent talking about. We can't lose focus on the fact that greatness is here while we're also keeping an eye on the future.
Yes, sir.
In any district, any endeavor of any size is going to have problems. And I have to watch myself. And the great thing about being a parent and being on the board is I can live the benefits, see the victories through my own children, and being able to take part from the viewpoint of a parent and a volunteer in some cases with Jesse and his team or his classes, and then bring that into the boardroom or a committee room, and that informs me and helps me as we're trying to solve difficult problems. I believe I'm called to that. I feel that firmly in my soul, and so that tempers. You got to keep an eye on the gratitude for now and an eye on the future. And this has been great conversation because I love to get with Dr. Mack, Mr. Morris, Dr. Morris, other board members, and our superintendent, and talk about what can be. So we've got to keep our eye on that.
And I think the fact that Jesse is a JASA student who is able to participate in offerings at Liberty is just one example of how what JMCSS can be is really coming to fruition.
Yeah, you mentioned Coach Johnson, Ms. Weaver, Mr. Wilson.
Right.
They're the ag teachers at Liberty. These people make the district, these teachers, professionals, and in addition to the facilities or the uniqueness of our programs, it's these professionals, educators that really make it work in the classroom. So got to give a shout out to them and our principals.
Now, we're just about out of time, but no pressure. But Jesse, you'll play the guitar next time we have you on the podcast. All right. You've been listening to For the District. It's the podcast for Jackson-Madison County Schools, and this morning we have been spotlighting Jackson Academic STEAM Academy. It is the virtual or homeschool platform for folks in the Jackson-Madison County School System. We want to encourage you to visit jmcss.org. Visit jmcss.org to learn more about the JASA platform, their partnership with Union University. There's a lot for you to learn and benefit from. So we want to thank Dr. Michael Morris, the principal of JASA, for joining us. School board member Glen Gaugh and parent of a JASA student for joining us to help tell the community about the great things happening not only at Jackson Academic STEAM Academy, but throughout the Jackson-Madison County School System. We hope you have a great Sunday, an excellent week, and we'll see you next time.